Hello again everyone. So today I'm going to do a little kind of overview, sort of breakdown of my vintage and New Hope Graflex. I meant to do it yesterday for Flex Friday, but forgot. So I'm going to do it today. So what I'll do is I'll just start from the top and go all the way down. Just go through all the parts, pieces, what I did to it, all the sort of what's vintage parts, what's replica parts, all that kind of thing. So I'll start at the top, and as you can see, I like the patina is great. It's like nice. It's not like overly aged. It's just got little spots of rust here and there. Bits of dirt, dust. I mean, this is a Graflex ink, so it's got the stepped pins, which doesn't bother me. I'm like not too fussed about them, like having to get a Fulmer and all that kind of thing, because this one's actually quite shiny for an ink. Like, so it actually does the part for a New Hope quite well. And as you can see as well, it's got some gashes along here, which like matching with the where the gashes are on the clamp. So I feel like it's probably, whenever it's been on a camera at some point, it could have rubbed up against something on this side and it's scraped along here, which actually ties into that. It makes it look very Star Wars, like in universe, like carbon scoring or bits of damage from like being thrown around and all sorts. Actually, the interesting thing about this vintage is it's like wonky, like the placement of like some of the holes when it was made. Like, to me, it looks like the beer tab, like the rivet and the bunny ears are like offset, so they're slightly to the left. You can see, because it's more noticeable with this, but you can really see it with this as well when it doesn't line up with this square here or the button. From this side it's hard to tell. You can kind of see it though, like how this edge of like the cutout for the bunny ears to go through is closer to this side of this than this side is. Which actually I enjoy. At first when I got this, I wasn't. I was like, oh, it's a bit weird and it kind of throws you off when you look at it. But given how wonky the rest of the A New Hope Graflex is, it ties in really well to that look. Like, and I'll get to that once I get down to the grips and the E-ring. And I've actually, I put from my last video when I unboxed the Balance V4 from Roman, I got the Fulmer eye. So yeah, put that in here. It does really add a different look to the Graflex compared to the ink eyes. So I'll swap my other ink, or the vintage ink eye, back into it so you can see what that looked like. So yeah, that's what the original ink eye that came with it looked like. This is one of the different sort of versions of the ink eye where it's like a flat, like a thicker flat ring at the front and then a steep incline, and it also sits out like a small gap, like it doesn't screw in all the way. Which I did hear some people talk about this being the version of eye they used for The Force Awakens and like The Last Jedi and things, because there's some promo images of that hilt with this gap here. But I think people are more thinking it's like a 1928 Fulmer eye. So yeah, so I'll take that back out and put the Fulmer one back in. Okay, so now I'll move down to the clamp. So yeah, this clamp's got a bit of, lots of little bits of the plating is chipping and stuff like that. Nothing else is like flaked off from when I got it, so I think it's just, yeah, as long as I don't scrape at it, I think I'll be fine. And you can see some of the scrapes from the lever, where they'll be turning the lever around. You see them a lot. I see them a lot on MPPs. Those kind of scrapes like this, the kind of like moon-shaped kind of scrapes from where the lever's been like twisted and like sort of scraped around it. So yeah, this is the original little clamp screw. Actually, 2 of the 3 vintages I have came with the little clamp screw. I know a lot of people say they didn't have them when they got them because they're probably such an easy part to get lost when people have been rearranged, like throughout the years. Cameramen would probably be swapping parts out if parts are not working right, so they'd be taking them out to move things around, and screws probably get lost. But no, 2 out of the 3 have had the screw, so I just keep it in there even though it's not accurate to the film. I just like having it there as a little kind of detail, vintage detail on it, and it helps keep this side secure because this is a little wobbly. Like there's a bit, it doesn't quite, the clamp's slightly bent wrong, so it doesn't quite hold this right. I've got like a little piece of tape on the inside of the clamp to just help that from not wanting to move around, and also this helps too. Otherwise it'd be quite rattly, just because I didn't want to risk trying to bend the clamp to try and get the clamp back to the way it's supposed to be, just in case I damaged the clamp more. So I was like, nah, I'll just leave it. Adds a bit of character. And so, and yeah, I've removed the square, or the washer, sort of underneath the clamp lever to be accurate, and have it raised up. And it's a Wonawonga, sort of a newer clamp bubble strip, which I milled down, I kind of sanded down slightly on each side just to get it to fit this particular clamp the way I wanted it to. Yeah, and now I come down to the grips. So yeah, these are from, get it to focus. These are from Wonawonga as well, and they're put on and cut to his new measurements and the blueprints. So they're all uneven, wonky, slightly different lengths. One thing I did do with the lower to get these on, because I noticed in the blueprints you need to extend the lower fully, it says, before you, and then that matches up with the length of the grips that you need. That if you do that, you can't, because of the way the twist and lock mechanism works, you need to sort of like notch it in past this little kind of bit on the inside of the, it's hard to explain, like this little notch. So when you pop it down behind here, it kind of locks it in place. So if you've got it fully extended, to twist it to get it off, you need to pop it down to twist it past that. And with it fully extended, you can't take the lower off with the grips attached, I found. At least that's what I thought would happen. So I ended up removing like the lower, like that, just that little sort of bit here, just dremeled that off on both sides. Like this is the original lower for this, like the vintage lower, because I didn't want to drill for all the D-rings and rivets and stuff. Even I know some people attach these with double-sided tape, but I quite like wearing them, like sticking them on my belt and things like that, just for, I don't know, reasons. And so I didn't want to do that, because I just like the idea of being able to clip it on my belt if I need it. So yeah, I thought I'd just get a replica, drill that for this. But yeah, I'll show you the modification I'm talking about in here. So yeah, see, I can just twist that off without having to pop it in there, because I can't, because it is fully extended, so it won't push in any. It's just fully extended out, but because I removed those little tabs, I can just twist it and pop it off. So yeah, like, oh wait, no, that's side. If it'll focus, there. So yeah, I removed the little tabs. that would be there, that little tab. I removed it from these just to make that sliding off easier. And also as well, because I mean, I know if I was assembling this as a static, I could have just did that and then never removed the lower. But because I have the vintage lower for this, I wanted to be able to switch it back to a flash if need be, rather than always having it as the lightsaber. So that's another reason. And so yeah, the grips. With the grips, I sort of dinged them up as well. If I can get it to focus in a bit, like just sort of hit, like I basically hit them with like screwdrivers and little things like that, just to give them little chips and hits here and there, to show a bit of age, a bit of weathering. And also added, it's probably not going to show up on the camera because it's easier under like a light, like a strong like flash, to see that I put Tamiya like sand, like light. I think I put light sand inside the grooves, but yeah, you're really not going to be able to see that, I don't think. But I put a bit of that inside the grooves or on like on here, like sort of like recesses of the grips, just to give a Tatooine vibe, especially if the grips are weathered. I thought there'd be dust in them, kind of like with the V2 and the Yuma and stuff like that have got dust inside the rings on the grain sections. It'd be the same kind of idea, I think, in here from being in Tatooine or Tunisia for the filming and things. And you can see a wee bit there, like the dust just on the inside. Just gives it a bit more dimension. Kind of breaks it up from just being black. And yeah, so, and in the bottom, yeah, there's the new wonky D-ring clip from Wonawonga. And the like handle screws, or not screws, rivets. They aren't drilled and riveted, they're just glued on. Like I cut them down to just the tops of the rivets and then glued them on and put a little bit of black paint inside the holes just to make it look like they're popped. And like, so yeah. So yeah, this replica bottom is a KR Gen 2 Graflex bottom, like lower half. Yeah, so what I'll do while I'm here as well is put some batteries in it, because this still works, the flash. It's still, I think this is the only one I've got that works still. Yeah, I think I've tried the other, well no, have I tried the other one? I don't know if I've tried my 2-cell, I can't remember. I've got a 2-cell, but I'm not sure if I tried that to see if that worked. I know the one I've got into ESB doesn't work as a flash anymore, it's probably a bit corroded and stuff inside. But this one still works. And it's got its original bulb from, well, I don't know if it's original bulb. It could have been changed over the years, but it was original to when I got it. And it looks kind of older from newer ones that I've seen. And yeah, see, still lights up. I really do love seeing them. Seeing the Graflexes like this, just as the flash, without the bubble strip obviously, but yeah. I haven't tried it with bulbs and like the reflector on and stuff, but I know it works like this. It actually really adds a good weight to it with the bulbs in it, or not the bulbs, with the batteries in it. But I don't know if I'd want to keep the batteries in it, because I'm sure the props in the film haven't got batteries in them. I don't imagine. Imagine they're just the hollow shells without the batteries. Yeah, flip it back to the saber. Get it off. And there we go. So yeah, that's just a little overview of my vintage A New Hope Graflex. Well, it's sort of vintage, half replica like this, but it is a full vintage, just I didn't want to modify like the original lore and stuff with holes and things. So yeah, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that, found it kind of informative. Or so yeah, if you've got any questions about it, anything like that, just leave me comments, or I'll try and answer them and things. So yeah, well, thanks for watching, and I'll do some more videos again soon.